Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is the chart. It's a partial solar eclipse, not a full one. The reason being, here's the sun and the moon, and there's the south node, and you can see there's a big distance between those items. Now, it's a real turning point. It is a new moon, after all. It's a new moon. Every month we have a new moon, and we had a solar eclipse partially earlier in the year. And this is right at the end of Virgo. So that's a real kind of, ooh, ouch feeling. And big opposition, the red line, to Neptune and Saturn, especially to Saturn, now retrograde. And then there's an awful lot of tension also between Uranus and Venus, and then Pluto and Mars. So the personal planets are involved. Now, eclipse degree will last up to 6 months. So if you do have a planet at 29 degrees, especially, of course, if it's your birthday, that will be activated in your chart. And eclipses are oftentimes of great change. That's the whole nature of them. Now, this is also, I'm showing you the elements. And there's a very strong element here of the earth, the quality of earth. Very grounded, very practical, very much about manifesting, very low fire energy, very low. And water's hardly represented apart from Jupiter, which of course is in its exaltation sign of Cancer right now. Air is okay, but not brilliant. Now, this energy doesn't last for long, and that's the interesting thing, is that as soon as we move a day, we come to the Autumn Equinox. And here is the chart. Here it is. And look at the difference. Actually, I'll use that same beginner wheel for you. That's it. Because now, look at this, air. Strong representing of air, the air signs, the quality of communication. Fire is now prominent. Earth is okay. Water's okay. So there's a lot more balance here. And we've got this beautiful grand trine happening at the Libra ingress of the sun. So this is where the sun, now in Libra for 30 days, is forming a very positive connection to Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, along with the other two planets involved, Saturn and Neptune. So you can see the big shift that's happening literally within one day. Added to that, really, really crucially, Mars. So here's Mars in its own sign of Scorpio, and it does that only every 2 years. Mars is a really interesting planet. It goes retrograde, yes it does, and then takes roughly 2 years to go through the whole zodiac. So we haven't had Mars in Scorpio for 2 years. This bodes very well for those of us who have a planet in Scorpio, and that is a huge number of people. You might not be the sun sign Scorpio, as I am, but you might also have another planet in Scorpio. Most people do have that. So this is a time for positive action, and the keynote for Scorpio is always transformation. It's still activating Pluto in a difficult relationship, but Mars will move reasonably fast. So in a couple of weeks, that will kind of fade away, dare I say that. But notice, really important, this change, this turning point that's going on this weekend. We have Neptune, as I said, still opposite the sun, exactly. That's a theme of this whole Libra ingress. And balance is the keynote, always, for the equinoxes. So it's equal day, equal night is what equinox means. So if you've been noticing, as I have, The sun is setting, isn't it, later and later here in the Northern Hemisphere. And of course, dawn is becoming later and later. So that's what we're facing. Equal day, equal night. And finding a balance in our lives. We still have what we call yods. These are the dotted green lines that you might see, finger of fate, they're known as. And they are basically elements that aren't working together. That's the nature of that. It's, inconvenient connection between planets. But overall, I really have to emphasize the dramatic contrast after we've had a month. We've had a month in August. We had Mercury retrograde. It seemed like forever. Then in September, we've been facing up to 2 eclipses, the full moon lunar eclipse, which was a total lunar eclipse, and now this partial solar eclipse. But this is why I want to emphasize that on Monday, and this is at 1919 BST, we get a whole fresh start. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be doing another broadcast looking at the Vedic astrology system, of which I have been immersed throughout September because of the British Association of Vedic Astrology conference has been going on all this month, which is why you haven't heard from me. So thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com.